right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Right beginning. Tuesday starts nice, but the chances of storms increasing Tuesday night when you can expect to hear thunder and how strong the storms will be.
Plus, expensive prescriptions? We'll tell you where to shop to save cash. But first,
we're going to stand strong, but we're not going to keep accepting this.
St. Louisans heartbroken by the mass shooting in Buffalo. We break down the great replacement theory tied to the shooter.
Tonight, prosecutors are building their case against the 18-year-old man accused of going on what police call a racist murder rampage. Good evening, I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Ann Allred. Investigators believe after killing 10 people inside of a grocery store, the suspected shooter intended to head down the street and shoot more people. They also say the suspect, who lived 200 miles away, may have been casing the store for months.
We have confirmed now that it appears that individual was here back a couple of months ago in early March.
Tonight, the memorial for the 10 victims is growing outside the store where they lost their lives.
This hate crime sparks reports online about the great replacement theory as a motive to target minority groups. Tonight, our Pepper Baker talked with local leaders to get some insight. Pepper?
Yes, ideas from the great replacement theory were included in the racially motivated document that the 18-year-old suspect posted online prior to the attack. I spoke with the St. Louis County NAACP chapter president and a Webster University psychology professor about the motives leading up to this terrible tragedy.
We cannot walk outside of our homes. You go to work, do your job, go to the grocery store without being preyed upon simply because of your color.
13 people, 11 of whom were African American, were shot in a Buffalo, New York grocery store Saturday. St. Louis County NAACP President John Bowman is angry, sad, and fed up.
But I see young black men getting killed for reaching for their driver's license, and here you have these guys. They walked them into the imprisonment location, unharmed, unscarred.
The FBI is investigating the mass shooting as a hate crime by the 18-year-old suspect, Peyton Gendron, who allegedly wrote and posted an 180-page document online prior to the attack that includes ideas from the great replacement theory.
It's based on the idea that whites are under attack, and so there's a white genocide going on.
Webster University professor of psychology Linda Wolf says these motives are often fueled online by groups who share similar interests.
And organizers of really these domestic terrorism cells sit back and they wait for somebody who's feeling really disenfranchised that they can use. And he was used. He fell right into it. He's absolutely responsible for his actions.
Bowman and Wolf agree that stronger regulation on hate groups' rhetoric and common sense gun laws are necessary.
Some of the world's worst atrocities have been done by people who thought they were doing the right thing. And so, he believes he's part of a war. He's a soldier.
This qualifies as terrorism. So when is America going to start responding to this in the same manner?
Of the 13 victims, 10 were killed. Gendron pleaded not guilty to a first-degree murder charge. Additional charges are expected.
Tonight, the FBI has launched a hate crime investigation into a deadly shooting at a Southern California church. Investigators say the suspected gunman was motivated by political tensions between China and Taiwan. One person was killed, 5 others were hurt in yesterday's shooting. Police say the man who was killed charged the suspect, allowing other churchgoers to disarm the gunman and tie him up. And tonight, a community safety meeting took place at the Korean Cultural Center of Dallas. 3 Korean women were shot inside a hair salon last week. Police believe 2 other shootings at Korean businesses in the area are connected. Tonight, a popular St. Louis restaurant is planning to close its doors after 3 decades in business.
It comes at a time when the owner of Fall Grand says business has never been better. Our Holden Kerwicki spoke to the business owners on how they came to this decision. Holden?
Well, Mike, this is actually something Tammy Trin and her family have been discussing for the past several years, and originally they planned to keep the doors open until the end of this year. However, after achieving a level of success that she never thought possible when she fled Saigon at the age of 11, she decided it was time to do something else.
Tammy Trin opened Pho Grand in 1989. She had a simple goal.
My goal was to have a job, get my kids through school, give them a good education.
33 years later, her restaurant has become a staple along South Grand.
Never in my wildest dream would think that we would be open 3 decades later, 33 years. Through all that's going on in the world.
The Trin family considered closing the business at the beginning of the COVID pandemic.
Business is so good, so it's hard to let go.
But after working 12 hours a day, 6 days a week for 30 plus years,
I love to go to work.
The Trins decided it was time to turn the page.
My customers are like, why are you closing? You have such a great business, great restaurant, but every book has an ending. Every story, there's an ending. So this is it's a final chapter for Faux Grand, but it's the next chapter for my life.
Tammy says she wants to take time and travel.
We want to maybe take a road trip in the U.S., and drive to wherever our heart desire and stop here and there if we like.
However, St. Louis and their location along South Grand will always be home.
This is not goodbye, it's see you later. We might come back and, this is my passion. So we might come back and do something little or something different. I don't know. We'll see.
I'll be right back. And if you're a foodie like me, you still have time to come out and give Faux Grand just a little try before they close the doors. Right now, the plan is to close for good on June 13th. Reporting live in South St. Louis, Holden Kerwicki, 5 on your side.
Just a couple of hours ago, crews ended their search for the night for a man's body in the Missouri River. 2 men fell into the water when their canoe capsized last night at the Howell Island Conservation Area. One man grabbed a flotation device and made it back to the island. The other didn't. Today, crews turned their search efforts from a rescue to recovery mission. A groomsman is dead. A bride is in the ICU after a crash on the way to their wedding reception. The crash happened Saturday afternoon on Illinois Route 3 at Old Route 3 in Monroe County. Police say a truck pulled into the path of the wedding party's Ford Bronco. 3 other people were hurt in the crash.
Tonight, the Rockwood School District is mourning the loss of another student. The teen's family is now seeking answers.
I just want to know why my sister, why? She was a baby.
16-year-old Kyra Jeffries, a sophomore at Eureka High School, was shot and killed in St. Louis this weekend. Police found the teenager Saturday shot in the stomach on Minnesota Avenue in the city's Carondelet neighborhood. The family has set up a GoFundMe. The money would go to the funeral and to help out Mom, who has 4 children. If you have any information about the shooting, call Crime Stoppers at 866-371-TIPS.
Just hours ago, the city of St. Louis settled a discrimination lawsuit with one of the 2 finalists for police chief. The I-Team's Christine Byers tells us what this now means for the city's search for its next top cop.
Lieutenant Colonel Lawrence O'Toole will be getting a roughly $162,000 settlement for a discrimination lawsuit he filed against the city 5 years ago. O'Toole sued the city after John Hayden was appointed chief of police, saying he was passed over for the job because he's white. Hayden is black. O'Toole served as the acting chief during the 2017 protests following the acquittal of a St. Louis police officer on a murder charge. On his watch, a black officer working undercover as a protester was assaulted by 4 white officers, and dozens of people, including a reporter, were arrested. O'Toole declared police owned the night after the protests. Hayden became chief not long after that, and O'Toole applied for the chief's job again earlier this year after Hayden announced he will be retiring. The settlement requires O'Toole to retire May 21st, waive any right to reemployment with the city, and withdraw his application for chief of police. And that leaves only one man standing for the police chief position, Lieutenant Colonel Michael Sack. Mayor Tashara Jones said earlier this year she wanted to reopen the police chief search to get a more diverse pool of candidates to pick from, but there has been no word yet on how or whether that'll happen. If you want to know more about how the money for O'Toole's settlement is divided, check out my report on KSDK.com. For the I-Team, Christine Byers, 5 on your side.
New tonight, ambitious plan to transform the Twin Cities along the Mississippi River. Not Minneapolis-St. Paul. We're talking about Festus and Crystal City. Tonight was an open house for the Maine to Mississippi plan. Community members got to see the final plans up close and give their feedback. The goal is to revitalize Main Street and improve connections between both communities. The project is part of the East-West Gateway Council's Great Streets initiative. A huge block party is being planned in St. Louis this weekend. STL Fest is moving to the Big Top on Washington Avenue for its second year. Rapper Reggie's Son is headlining the event, with also will feature dozens of other acts.
It's just about celebrating St. Louis music, St. Louis culture, St. Louis business, because we love this city, we products of it, and it's about uplifting it and pushing it forward.
The concert is sold out, but everyone is welcome to the block party from 12 until 5. There will be a vendor market, performances, and a car show.
Chasing the Cup, sponsored by Car Shield.
The Blues are in the Mile High City tonight.
Yeah, in less than 24 hours, they're going to face off against the Colorado Avalanche in the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. The Blues were on the practice ice at Centene this morning, and later, sports director Frank Cusimano will have more from head coach Craig Berube about the game plan against that Central Division juggernaut. For a schedule and all you need to know about the Blues playoff series against the Avalanche, just text the word Blues to 314-425-5355.
Skipping meds.
I stopped using because of the cost.
Lower prices can be found with online pharmacies. The reasons you may want to stick with your neighborhood drugstore. Johnny Cash walked the line, but vandals have now crossed it. The search for who made Johnny spring a leak, putting a vital community supply at risk.
Spring storms return to the area in about 24 hours. When and where the storms are expected to be most intense.
Right now, COVID cases are rising across the country and here in St. Louis, but health officials are not sounding the alarm.
Still not those dramatic spikes that we saw in the earlier waves, but it's still something that I think we need to be aware of.
This is not a cause for alarm, rather a reminder that COVID is still very much among us, and there are ways to help prevent catching it, spreading it, and getting very sick from it.
Health officials urge testing now more than ever for early detection and to prevent spread. The medication Paxlovid helps treat COVID, but is only effective when taken within 5 days of the onset of symptoms.
Tonight, there is some hope for parents dealing with the massive shortages of baby formula across the country. The White House is taking steps to get those vital products back on store shelves. The Biden administration is working with baby formula manufacturers to boost production and urging their suppliers to speed up the delivery of ingredients. Late this afternoon, a Michigan plant that had been shut down for months announced it has reached a deal with health officials to restart production.
Getting all the manufacturers to step up, getting the Sturgis plant up and going, but also importing or bringing to bear product that was intended for other countries.
FDA officials say they are working to ensure imported formula meets U.S. safety standards and comes in languages parents and caregivers understand. A warning for anyone scrambling to find baby formula. The Better Business Bureau says scammers are preying on parents turning to online and social media looking for these products. To avoid becoming a victim of a scam, do your research. Google the company's name and the word scam to pull up any possible complaints. Also, be cautious before clicking on any links. You should also pay with a credit card, which generally offers more fraud protection.
Picking up a prescription from a drugstore used to be our only option, but times have changed. These days, online pharmacies give us plenty of low-cost options. Consumer Reports found the savings can be substantial if you know where to shop.
For Nicole Phillips, taking generic Strattera helped her manage her ADHD, but found it hard to afford.
Because of my high deductible, it was over $800.
Because of the high price, Nicole had to make a tough choice.
I stopped using because of the cost.
Nicole is not alone. In a recent Kaiser Family Foundation analysis, 3 in 10 adults who need a prescription drug said they didn't take it as directed in the past year because the cost was too high. And it's not just the uninsured who are struggling, says Consumer Reports' Lisa Gill.
Many people with insurance may have high deductibles to meet before any of the discounts begin.
A saving solution might be found online. Big-name retailers such as Amazon and Costco offer discounted drugs, as do sites like Genius RX, Honeybee Health, and others. To see if the savings are real, CR went to work comparing prices so you don't have to.
Overall, we found prices online to be pretty low.
CR also found substantial savings if you order your medication for multiple months. For example, at Row Pharmacy, you can get a 30-day supply of generic Lipitor, a cholesterol-lowering medicine, for $9.90. A year's supply, just $19.80. But there may be some drawbacks if you're paying out of pocket for your medication. For one, that money won't typically go towards your insurance deductible. Another drawback, you might not be able to find your exact prescription.
Several of the sites that we checked aren't full-service pharmacies, so they may not offer insulin or even brand-name drugs. They pretty much only offer low-cost generics.
Another problem, they might not do as good a job as your local pharmacy in checking for dangerous drug interactions. Bottom line, these sites might help you save some money, but if you take a lot of drugs or complex drugs, sticking with a local pharmacy may be a better bet.
And before you try an online pharmacy, make sure the site can ship to you. Consumer Reports found 4 of the sites they checked do ship to all 50 states.
The St. Louis Zoo is reversing course on its reservation policy. It started during the pandemic to control crowd sizes, and just last month, officials announced the reservation policy would stay in place. But starting next Monday, no reservations will be required. The zoo is now open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Sunday through Thursday. On Friday and Saturdays, it's open from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Oh my goodness, take a look at this. Tonight, a water tower in Johnny Cash's hometown of Kingsland, Arkansas, it sprung a leak in a compromising position. A vandal shot a bullet into the town's main water supply. The city is losing 30,000 gallons of water per day. Repairs could cost thousands. The person responsible, if caught, could face felony charges.
All right, let's get to Scott Connell because some storms are in our future. Scott.
They are in our future as we head into about 24 to 36 hours from now. That's when we're looking at this for the overnight hours tomorrow night. But boy, what a sunset tonight. Looking back over Forest Park out towards Clayton. Sun kind of going below the horizon, leaving us with pretty skies. 84 was our top temperature in St. Louis today, above average. But unlike last week, no humidity in the air today. Dew points only in the lower 40s, so that made a huge difference. It also allowed us to get down to 56 degrees early this morning. And yes, did you feel a little earthquake if you over around Centralia, south of Salem? It was just north of Mount Vernon here. A very small 2.3 magnitude earthquake that happened just before 7:30 tonight. So most places would not feel that, but it did happen, and a few people felt it, not strong enough to cause any damage. We're still at 73 in St. Louis, but Springfield, Kirksville, Columbia, all down into the 60s right now. And tomorrow, well, our skies are clear at the moment. We'll see some high clouds starting to roll in tomorrow during the morning. And in the afternoon, the clouds will really start to increase. But the focus for rough weather is still well to our west. Right now in St. Louis, under a clear sky, a nice comfortable 73 degrees. The winds have gone calm. We're only at 38% on the relative humidity. That dew point's 46. Again, 84 and 56 the numbers for your spread today. And tomorrow, we're right on target at 58 for the average morning low. Out the door, it'll be nice and refreshing tomorrow around St. Louis. We will look for the clouds to increase during the afternoon hours, but it is a dry day and a good day to work outside. While humidity levels will start to creep up, we're still not talking about really humid conditions until we get into Wednesday, and that'll last through Friday. Now, tomorrow evening, north and west of St. Louis, up towards Bowling Green, we might have a stray shower or thunderstorm by about 10, 11 o'clock. But most of what we see will wait until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. It'll come at us from the northwest. This area of showers and thunderstorms ought to be diminishing and weakening as it approaches St. Louis. Will some of us get some downpours? You bet. Is there a chance for severe weather? Well, it's pretty small. Anything would be isolated, mainly a few gusty winds, perhaps a little bit of hail, but mainly north and west of St. Louis. Going to Wednesday morning, it's shifting east of town. We're much more humid for the day Wednesday. That'll take us on into Thursday as well. And the bottom line here is while there will be rain chances Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, even into Saturday, the overall severe weather threat looks somewhat limited this week. Definitely dry through the day on Tuesday. Your storms are overnight Tuesday night into Wednesday, at least the first round, maybe an isolated strong storm. Your next 10 days featuring that rain chance kind of winding down for Wednesday afternoon, a little bit Thursday morning, and then Friday we'll be close to 90 in some spots. Steamy, but much cooler for the weekend. Saturday is not the pick day of the weekend. It's Sunday, Ann.
All right, Scott, a lot for you to watch this week. Thank you. Here's Frank with what's coming up in sports.
Well, we will hear from the villain from last year's Blues Avalanche series, and we're playing Hit and Run with Willie McGee. How could you not watch?
Chasing the Cup, sponsored by Car Shield.
The Blues and Avalanche will drop the puck in 22 hours for Game 1. I have no prediction on the series, but I have a prediction. If they knock off Colorado, they will win it all. Craig Berube and the boys had their final workout at Centene before hopping on a plane to Denver. There is no suspense on who the goaltender will be. Jordan Binnington, and that .943 save percentage was jaw-dropping against the Wild. Marco Scandella skated, but his status is questionable. Torrey Krug won't play in Game 1. As for facing the Avs, the Blues have to play their style.
Oh, for sure. We're going to have to play heavy. Everybody. We're going to have to control the play in the offensive zone as much as possible, and grind them down as much as possible. And like I said, you got to make sure you're on your toes defensively all the time. You got to check and you got to reload, and it's going to take a real team effort.
The lasting memory of last year's playoff sweep by the Avalanche was this blindside hit on Justin Falk by the Avs' Nazem Kadri. He had fights with the Blues in their first 2 regular season matchups this season. So does he expect to be targeted in this series?
Yeah, I mean, I really wouldn't expect it. I mean, it's kind of over and done with. Like you said, I answered the bell, multiple times. And, this time of year, I think both teams understand that, winning comes first and any sort of, redemption. So it's all about getting wins and the score at the end of the game.
The Cardinals and Mets were postponed today. They will play a doubleheader beginning tomorrow at 2 o'clock. They will likely use a lot of pitching over the next 18 innings, but I promise you, this right-hander won't be used. Albert Pujols finished up last night with an ERA of 36.
Yeah, you need these. I mean, you saw both sides laughing. We know this is a long season, but you soak in moments like that. Albert Pujols pitched today. Now we just need to get me in at bat, and this will be a great season. You know what I mean?
On Mondays, we often play Hit and Run with a sports celebrity. It's rapid-fire Q&A, no hedging allowed. Willie McGee is one of the most popular Cardinals ever, so he qualifies. Who wins in a race in your prime from first to third, you or Vince?
Vince.
You can choose any Cardinal in history to protect your family. Who would you choose?
Ooh. Danny Cox.
That's a good one. You pick one Cardinal pitcher to win one game for you in history.
I got Bobby Force, I got Joaquin Andujar, and I got
Tudor.
I got Danny Cox, and I got Tudor.
Whitey or Tony to manage one game?
I'll take Whitey.
Baseball hero growing up?
Willie Mays.
What was the first fun thing you bought with your Major League Baseball money?
My mama house.
Nice.
Let my dad a car.
Wow. What kind of car?
A Caprice Classic. I let him. Matter of fact, that was the best. Unbelievable, man. I took him to the car lot. Chevy dealer in Concord. He loved Chevy. I said, Pop, we got out the car. I said, Pop, pick which one you want. And he looked at me and he said, are you serious? I said, yeah, Pop, pick which one. I mean, it's just to see him melt, how he, are you real? Are you serious? Yeah, Pop, pick which one you want. He picked it, he went to his knees, man, and that's why I played. That's why I played. I didn't play for me to get a big house, me to get cars. I wanted to take care of them first, and then I can take care of myself.
Finally tonight, we welcome back Ann Allred to our humble Studio B for the first time in over 2 years. But you may find this interesting. 5 on Your Side Sports has uncovered her 5 demands before coming downstairs and joining us. Perrier, caviar, a personal assistant, a masseuse, and a 60-40 airtime split with Mike Bush favoring Ann.
70-30. 70-30.
Welcome home.
Thank you. It's good to be back down in the basement with all of you from the first floor for the last year. But it's good to be back. Take me out to the ball game. Now buying some peanuts and Cracker Jacks is about to get a whole lot easier. Talk about a time warp. The hit 80s sci-fi show Quantum Leap is returning to NBC this fall. The original made St. Louis and Scott Bakula a household name. But he's not expected to take part in what's billed as a continuation of the original series. It will air Monday nights at 9 right here on 5 on Your Side.
Baseball fans can soon avoid long lines at the concession stand. Uber Eats launched a new service today allowing you to order food from your seat. The app will alert you when your order is ready, and you can go pick it up without a wait. Right now, though, the service is not available at Busch Stadium, but Uber hopes to expand here soon.
Do you hate it when your sandwich, wrap, or burrito unravels? Some students at Johns Hopkins University have come up with a solution. They've developed an edible and organic tape to hold it together. Now they're in the process of applying for a patent for their Tasty Tape. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, tasty tape does not sound appetizing to me.
I would eat it.
I don't think so. There you have it. 5 on your side at 10. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is next.
He hosts Shakira. Start your day with Today in St. Louis beginning at 4:30 a.m. Have a great tomorrow.